Hello everybody. It is Thursday the 18th of December and I'm still down with a stomach bug. I'm feeling absolutely yucky. So I'm trying to get this out. I want to talk about the New World Order and the power of the mind. Yeah? And really, again, what I said so often, we need to know what it is we're doing. And I'm not saying, I've come all of a sudden into great enlightenment. I haven't. I've thought about this thing for over 10 years and I've been going step by step toward what I'm saying now. It didn't just drop from heaven. I was trying to see, I was seeking understanding. That is what I was asking for all these years ago. And I was on a path that would lead me to understanding. Again, it was an evolution. It was not suddenly, as I said, the heavens opened and the whole thing dropped down into me. It didn't. But, and here we are. I'm saying as I understand now, and I'm telling my truth because that is what we must do. Because that is what most people do not understand. They do not understand what it is we're actually doing. We are creating a story for the next age. Now, first of all, I just want to address this again, thing that I've been called. I've been called a hypocrite because I say the Bible is wrong, yet I'm quoting from it. Okay. Especially the New Testament, I think the whole book really. What people do not understand is that this is not a teaching that says it is so. It doesn't do that at all. It is a discourse. It is a conversation. It is an argument between two opposing sides. And I would say one side is our humanity, and it is speaking out of that book. It is very much suppressed by the other. I think the other side gets its, more. Yeah, humanity kind of gets a word in edgeways, but still, it is there. It is a discourse between two sides. Our humanity and that of an alien entity. And then, and it says again, let me quote the Bible right here and now because I think it's truth. It says, in the end, God will separate the wheat from the tares. And that is exactly, I think, what we're doing right now. We're separating the two sides. We're trying to find our humanity in this and what the voice of our humanity in this entangled mess. Because we have taken so much of the alien thought that is in that book. We've taken it in and we've made it our truth and we're acting out of it and it is completely destructive. Again, we must wake up to what it is we're doing and where it is coming from. And as I said, detangle our own humanity to see it clearly out of that discourse. And that is God separating the wheat from the tares. We are the ones that are doing the separation right now. And so yes, I can absolutely quote from the Bible if it is the part that I'm in agreement with. If that is my truth, I can speak it. Yeah? And it's not those that say indiscriminately, black and white, oh, it's all evil. Burn the book. Burning books is the act of ignorance. Yeah? To indiscriminately say black and white is the voice of ignorance. They have not bothered to go in there and see what it's actually saying and what it is doing. But they pass judgment out of complete and utter ignorance. Anyway, but that is the Christian way, it always has been, because they've always passed judgment out of darkness. So, I came to this, again, just last night and now this morning, these thoughts came about things that I've read. I read the Book of Thoth, or whatever you want to call him, Hermes. And in it is the story of the Atlanteans, again, that were the keepers of knowledge and that initiated, I think Thoth himself may have been human, initiated human and then sent them out into the world, because that's what happened in the end. I think they only sent them out because Atlantis was going down, but they did send them out, tell the hairy, ignorant savages our enlightened knowledge, yeah? And that got my back up. No end. When I read that, I said, where the hell are you getting off? Yours is the only enlightened knowledge. Especially since it was actually quite clear when you look at it that this Atlantean present, again, was an alien presence, sorry. It was not from this world. And I was thinking, what the hell? Anyway, so that was in that story. Again, there was clearly an alien presence that thought himself completely enlightened and that felt the need to share with the hairy idiots. Anyway, but then I read another story, and that was the Atlantean. No, not the Atlantean. The Gospel. Hold on a minute. God, the word has gone out of my head. The Aquarian Gospel. And in it is the story of Jesus going to all the masters in the world, and he's learning their knowledge. Again, Christians are up in arms. What a stupid idea. Yeah, again, knowledge dropped from heaven. Yeah, it came in the form of a dove. And it was filled with enlightenment. Actually, when you think about the time he was in, and again, the existence of different mystery schools at that time, it makes perfect sense. If you see it in historical context, it makes perfect sense that he was a student of a mystery school and that he went around other mystery schools, not only learning their knowledge, which it says in the Aquarian Gospel, but also giving of his own. Very much so. Which would be the Judaic mystery schools, their knowledge. But then in the end of the Gospel, here goes again. They came together. The heads of the mystery schools came together in the end of the story. And again, creating a thought for the next age. And again, I was sitting there thinking, what the hell? Who appointed you? I don't actually care if they're alien or if they're human. It's the few coming together thinking, they can create a thought and then put it in the heads of the people and create an age. But, even if that happened at the time, conceivably it could have done, because that's what the mystery schools did. They were influencers. Yeah? They didn't actually... many of them did not speak out in public. So they didn't do it with words. They didn't actually make themselves known so much. Yeah? In the end, when the whole thing started going belly up, many of them did come out and speak out publicly. And promptly got killed by the Christian mob. But at the time, they did not speak out. And here is what they did in the Aquarian Gospel, in the story when they came together. They meditated. They sat in silence. This giving of knowledge into the masses was not done by the word. It was done through meditation. Again, there is an internet that we are in, an energetic connection that we are in, where we give to each other. And that is how the mystery schools influenced humanity, not by preaching, but by meditating, putting that thought in on those pathways. Again, as I say, it is conceivable that actually happened, or something like that happened, or that was the intention of the mystery schools too. Come together and create on those pathways. thought for the new age that would then create a new world. Of course, that did then never happen, or it never filtered through humanity, because Christianity thought, thought, talking and thinking of the sort will do. And as I said, they went on the rampage, and through brutal oppression, that will get the thought across. That will create a new age, and it did. And we are in that age, and that age is coming to an end. It was doomed from the start, because it was built on the hatred of humanity. It was built on aggression. It was built on the way of, we destroy everything that is in our path. So it was doomed from the start. And it would create what it has now created. It was violent insanity to start with, and it created a violent, insane world. According, the tree will become according to the seed, and it will grow no other way. Yeah, the seed cannot grow something that it is not. So we are at the end of an age. And here again, we're trying to create a thought, a story for a new age. And we're sifting through. That's what we're doing. We're sifting through the past. We're sifting through the thoughts, especially when we're aware that thoughts create, that we create with the mind, that we are all creative beings, all of us. Some are more aware of their abilities and they can do it stronger, but it is in everybody. So that's what we're doing. We're going through the bits and pieces of the past. We are separating. We should separate the wheat from the tares, and again stand in our own human truth and create a new story for the new age. Now, again, and it is influencers and followers. In that respect, nothing seems to have changed. Yeah? It's still the same way. You have the few that influence the thoughts of humanity, and you have the sheep that follow. And maybe that is just how it is. And in the end, we can't all be scholars. We can't. Because food has to be grown, animals have to be tended to, there's other stuff going on, houses have to be built, so we can't all sit around going on, somebody has to do the works. But, well, first of all, I think it has become much more an awareness who the influencers are, especially those on the internet. And even those that are in the shadows, and whatever words they are coming from, their thoughts that are coming from there, we're becoming aware that it is coming from a hidden source somewhere, which we might call the deep state or the cabal. And though even we don't know them in person or who they actually are, we are aware that there is a source. And then there are those that are standing out in the open, that because you can hear them and you can see them. But I think, as I said, it's still a case of masses coming into agreement and following one school of thought or another. I think what the masses are still ignorant of, and what it is we must all understand, is what it is we're doing, and that is we're coming into agreement about a story, how we see each other and what we are in. That's what we're doing. We're creating something that we will then teach our children and our children's children, that will create a world. Now, the misconception that is in most sheep, maybe in some of them even that are the influencers, actually, in many influencers that misconception is as well there, and that is that they think they have found the truth, the one and only truth, the only possibility. And again, that is Christian. That is a mindset that was brought into this world by Christianity. There is only one unshakable truth. There is one rock, and it will never change, and it will be the truth forever, for all eternity. Yeah? And that, again, that is not creation is movement. Creation is evolution. Creation is change. But I mean, Jesus hated that. He said, who builds his house on shifting sands? You know, build it on a rock. Have the one unshakable truth and build your house on that. And, well, you can do that, and they have done that, but it is against creation itself, because that is not how creation works. It is not one unshakable truth. And those that are still seeking the one unshakable truth are on a completely wrong path. I mean, what Christianity actually was a possibility. Again, a view of the universe or creation, and you are in it. Mainly you are the pleb that needs to do what he's told. Yeah? That was a possibility that became the truth and then created in this world. It created a world through us, through those that believed. But it never was the only truth. It never was the only possibility. And here comes, building your house on a rock might not be the best idea, especially if the rock is rotten to start with. But to stay flexible if things go wrong, so you can change. In the light of new knowledge you can change, and not in the light of if you have new knowledge you're getting burned at the stake. But I mean, that is what we're doing. And then really the sheep should not worship the influencer. Absolutely not. As the one enlightened being that knows the only truth. They are not that. I am not that. I'm seeing a possibility. And people should come into agreement with according to their own truth. And then let's see, it's like voting time. Really, this is election time. Which narrative will win? And hopefully there's not again a narrative that will just at some point say enough of this and we just drop some bombs and then everybody has to think like us. Hopefully this will not happen again. But we are coming into agreement on how we see ourselves. And there's another thing I was thinking about what I'm doing. I said I want to see reflected back what I'm thinking. I'm doing it right now. I'm veering. Again, we're starting to veer towards each other. And I'm veering very much toward the humanity team, toward Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton. And there's a woman there that is, and I should know her name. It's desperate that I don't. I should have looked it up. And I will look it up. I will know her name because I'm actually very much in agreement with what she's saying. I look it up. And I'm veering toward that thought of ourselves. Not only because it does contain true compassion and love, but also because it is built on some, again, scientific foundation, not just intuition and imagination. It's got the foundations of those thinkings are a little bit more solid, which again is a good thing, It's not an unshakable rock, but hell, you shouldn't build on a complete swamp, of intuition and imagination and then believe on it. Because when we do, our mind will create according to that. We are creating by the mind. Enough people come into agreement and it will become a reality. We are creator beings. We are beings of light, of energy that create. Let's take that as a foundation. Knowing ourselves at that, and then what is it we're doing with our energies? Again, we're following innovators. But are we doing it because, and here again, are we doing it because we are actually in agreement? Or is it because we worship them and we say, oh, we must come into the agreement because they have the only truth? No such thing as the only truth, the only possibilities. Born out of the knowledge that we have to create a possibility. And what we come into agreement with, we will create. And there's really something the masses must get in their head, and that is their own role in creating this, their own energy that is co-creating. Yeah, and they have responsibility for what it is they're following. And they have responsibility to think what this thought would actually create, what the outcome would be. Yeah, and it's like people following an innovator that says from the start, you know, we are all, everything is possible, into hell with the consequences. Yeah, there's somebody you should follow. You know, he himself is even not thinking about the consequences. Then you can switch off your brain as well, and we're all going into a bright future, I'm sure. So yeah, I really think that is where we're at. We're at the end of an age that was never built on a good thought to start with. Never even built on a thought that was human to start with. Although humanity was arguing for itself in that book and then was promptly crucified. Yeah, but that age is coming to an end. We're trying to get a new view of a new story for humanity that will create a new world. And as it is with the internet, we all have a chance now to get involved in that. It's no longer aliens sitting in some temple, or even the hidden mystery school teachers doing it amongst themselves. We now have the chance to understand what it is we're doing and to get actively involved. And to give of our energy, not because we worship or we think that's the only truth, because we have come into agreement ourselves, and that means you have to engage your own noggins. You know, you have to do some thinking yourself in order to do that. And if we know what we're doing, and we're doing it with our eyes open, I think we would come to a great future, especially, and that's the last thing I want to say, especially because this process of all adding their own little bit to create a whole, to create the whole future of humanity. We've all done that. We've always done that. The energy of the people is always co-created with whatever lunatic they were following. Yeah, but to do it with awareness, and then this idea that all create, not just one, but all create by coming into agreement, by creating balance, and by creating something that is good for all, that would actually be a reflection of nature. That would be a reflection of this world. That would be true to ourselves and to this world. And that is in the end human. It is man that is coming from this world. The level of man of consciousness, that is man that is grown out of this world. So if we did this consciously, we knew what we were doing, we knew there wasn't just one truth, but we are in a field of possibility, and our energies create. And then do this consciously. Create a story for humanity that is good for all. And then make it a reality. Create. Anyway, here I leave it at that for today. And I talk to you again soon. Bye.